What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to do a review of The Sandman. Mr. Sandman, bring me some... whatever. Uh, Click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Join me because I'm obviously clinically insane, but I'm also blind. And so I talk a lot about a lot of things having to do with like audio description, accessibility, the kind of things that the critics, they say they go into things blind, but I don't ever hear them talking about audio description and accessibility when they come out and do their reviews. They're like, I went into this blind. Did you? Because you seem to be able to have seen the screen pretty well, sir. Yes. Um, so yeah, the Sandman has audio description, and it's pretty good. Like, yeah. This episode deals a lot with so Dream previously on the Sandman, uh, Dream just kind of had that sort of like reality check from Nada, and he's gloomy, and it's raining in Dreamland, and so his sister Delirium comes to visit him, and is caught by this sort of like giant guard, but she's happy about it. She's delirious. What she's kooky, and she has this idea. She wants to go get their brother Destruction. And we do see Destruction for like a hot second. And sort of like we cut over to Destruction. So we know that he's like around, alive or whatever. But Dream goes to talk to Desire. Desire is obviously manipulating everybody, by the way. That's super obvious. He plants ideas. He's already done it with Nada. And Dream is sort of like aware of this and still allows it to happen. Like he kind of calls him on it and he mentions it, and then he just does it anyway. He's like, "Oh yeah, I should go search for Nada." I'm like, "But you know that Desire is manipulating." Anyway, so Desire wants to go search for the brother because she's like, "I need him," and everything. When he was here, everything was okay, which is weird because the brother is Destruction. So so they head off to the waking world. I can't do the Tom Sturridge voice. Waking world. Tom Sturridge, man. If we can get him doing Dream as sort of like an AI voice on our things, that would be great. I'd love to be able to summon him just as Dream on a device. Um, so yeah, he goes up with her, and they first go to this person who's been alive for like 12,000 years, is now a lawyer. And before actually, no, Dream uses a contact. I skipped, I'm sorry. And they have to go get a car so they can travel around. And there's a person, Wanda, who, and eventually will have her own moment where she actually gets to sort of tell her story. She drives them around, takes them to places. And they're going after the first person who's like this lawyer. That doesn't work out because even after 12,000 years, he just suddenly dies right before they get to him. So, like these rocks fall on him and everything. And he's like, no, after all this time, and Death is there to sort of collect his body, well, his soul, I guess. And she's like, yeah, you got what everybody else got. No more, no less. A lifetime. Yeah, just like a really long one. Like 12,000 years. I want that. Like he didn't age either. He doesn't look like he's 12,000 years old either. So there's just like bones and dust walking around, you know. I don't even know if there would be bones after 12,000 years. So uh yeah, he didn't make it. So Dream starts to suspect, isn't that a little weird? Like maybe we should go back. He hasn't found Nada yet. He found somebody who he thought was Nada, but it wasn't her. And but Delirium keeps begging to go forward, and so they go to the next person who is not a mortal but a god, and is now going by the name Ishtar, and it's a former god of war and sex who was also one time a lover of Destruction, was like the girlfriend of Dream. Didn't approve of the relationship, and now, and we learn that the only way to kill a god is to stop people from believing in them, which is interesting because I don't know how this actually stopped anybody from believing in. I don't know who's believing in her to begin with, and I don't know, is it just the people in this building, and then that's it because of how it ends? Anyway, so they go. She's a dancer, and there's a show. But first, they stop off to eat, which is where Wanda tells her story about being trans and her experience. They ask her, you know, would you, if your family came looking for you, would you accept it? She gives sort of like a really sort of heartfelt, very human answer to the question that I think weighs with Dream and also the audience. It's very interesting that just sort of include Wanda's story into this episode. It's a very nice performance, very nice story. I didn't think we were going to hear much from Wanda. She felt sort of like a supporting character, but I think she offers a lot to the episode because her story is so specific. And then we go after Ishtar, who's doing a dance, making love, get down tonight. Anyway, Dream goes to the back to talk to Ishtar, warns her, well, first of all, wants to know if she knows where destruction is. And then also warns her because the last person died, and she's like, great, you brought death to my door. Fine. Thank you for that. So she goes out and she's like, you know, I've danced as this, but nobody's ever seen me dance as a god. So she goes out with her powers and you know, without all the extra normal stripper nonsense. And Dream comes out and there's Desire and Wanda, and he's like, we gotta go like and Delirium, and not Desire, but Delirium and Wanda. And they don't get out quick enough. Her dance basically turns into some sort of like supernova explosion inside of this building. And while Dream and Delirium are fine, Wanda's not. So they lost Wanda, in addition to, I guess, Ishtar exploded. I'm not really sure. I mean, there was a big explosion that emanated from her, but she's also a god, so she could have just like exploded and then also reformed. I guess the last person who believed in her was in that building. Is that what we're supposed to believe based on what requires how to kill a god? Is that somebody has to not believe in her anymore? So I guess the only people who believed in her were in that building. That's what I'm going with anyway. And then Desire shows up and he's like, you destroyed my place of worship. You came into my house. And it's like, well, you kind of planted the idea. But Desire decides to, you know, absolutely just read Dream for filth here, and just unnecessarily so, because Dream actually, we saw, did go to the back and did prioritize, didn't like ask Ishtar, like, have you seen Nada? There's this girl, let me show you a picture of her. Like, he didn't prioritize his own shit. But eventually Desire accuses him if that's the only reason why he's there. And it's like, well, if that was, then he wouldn't have gone back to the back and asked Ishtar like where his brother was. He would have just had a conversation with her and warned her and then left. If he just really didn't care and had no desire to find their brother, he wouldn't have asked the question. So the scene doesn't make any sense, and Desire's scene with Dream doesn't make any sense. And this is kind of where the episode lost me at the end, is because Dream's kind of like, yeah, I was here for Nada. And it's like, no, you weren't. You just asked her for the location. Nobody else saw that scene except the audience and the two people who were in that room. Like, he didn't need to ask her where the brother was. He didn't need to do that. So he could have just warned her and then left and been like, it seems like people are killing people who knew my brother. So just thought I'd let you know. Watch out. Bye. You know. And then gone out and told the brother, no, she doesn't know anything. And then left. I mean, that literally could have been the scene if he really truly is not trying to find the brother. But he did ask for the location, so he is obviously still trying to find the brother. I know writers for television shows, they have a really hard job. They sit in these writer rooms and they have to come up with these ideas and everything. But the problem is, as an audience member, I then have to sit here and accept your bullshit. And it's really hard for me to accept a sequence that you show to me that has no purpose. Like, that is the scene, and now you're saying that scene has no purpose because Dream wasn't trying to find destruction. I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of where we leave the episode. So we'll see what happens. Desire goes home. No, not Desire. I keep getting them mixed up. Delirium goes home. Um, and will Dream continue to go after the brother, or acknowledge the fact that he was ever trying to find the brother, or is he gonna chase Nada down? How's the story gonna evolve? Is Desire gonna continue to plant ideas in Dream's head, where Dream is like fully aware of it, and then go, "Yeah, you're right. I should do that. Yeah, thanks for planting that idea in my head. I'm gone now. I'm gonna go do that thing that you clearly are forced, guiding me to do." Audio description was fine. I had some questions mainly about the beast that captures Delirium in terms of like size. A lot of times we skip out on size relativity. Didn't quite know how big that thing was. Seems like it's pretty big though. Maybe was it in season one? Did we get size relativity in season one? I don't remember. So that was sort of one of the things that stood out to me, was how big is this thing that caught Delirium? And uh really that's about it. I mean, like, that was kind of the big thing. I think I mean, it really isn't much else. Everything else is sort of basic and described to the best of its ability, I think. Um, so if I could pick one moment, that would be it. Size relativity. Uh, sometimes just saying big is like, well, that's I big is in the eye of the beholder. I know it's usually beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but big is in the eye of the beholder. So to some people, I'm big because they're smaller than me, but I don't know that I would be considered as big as that. So the Sandman had me and then lost me right at the end of the episode, um, with that little hook of the, no, you're not here to find, no, you're right, I'm not here to find the brother. I just asked about his location for no apparent reason whatsoever. Totally right on that. It's all bullshit. I'm gonna give the Sandman season 2 episode 4. I'm gonna give it a B. It's okay. It's okay. It kind of like shot itself in the foot there at the end, unnecessarily so. But I'm still not 100% sure if how the Ishtar thing worked. I think I I'm guessing she killed. I'm going off of this. Is what I'm going with, is that she killed her last follower in the explosion, so she committed suicide. That's what I'm going with. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.